Like, share, subscribe, dislike. Like, share, subscribe, dislike. Comment below how stupid I sound, or do you agree with me? Comment below, share, hit the like button, hit the dislike button. Comment below, share, hit the like button, hit the dislike button. Let's get straight to it. Last night was historical. John Cena's last match, at least for now. You know how these wrestlers do. They retire, but they don't retire. So I would just say at least for now. In the shape John Cena's in, I wouldn't be too surprised if it's about 3 years from now, even 5 years from now, he might do one more match. Because creative might be that bad where they might need John Cena back. Speaking of creative, there was barely anything creative about this entire run. The retirement tour. We had a couple of little bright spots here and there. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? And it did come out the way it came out. A lot of people had a problem with the Gunther match. Gunther being his last enemy. His last, not enemy, but his last match. Possibly ever. And the way it ended left a lot of people pretty heated. They were booing Triple H. They said bullshit at the end of the night. The boy, they was booing Triple H, like Triple H, when he hit Shawn Michaels in the back with a sledgehammer type of heat. I mean, they was booing Triple H like he the one just beat John Cena. Man, man, man. I guess it is what it is because he gave us what he gave us. He announced his retirement of last year, Money in the Bank. So that was that June, I believe, or July, one of them. Just put it like this, it was in the summer. Meaning you had about a good 4 to 5 months to plan all this out. And his entire run just felt like, let's see what happens here, but we don't have anything in the long run. His entire run felt like that, and especially what was supposed to be the biggest spot, the biggest highlight of his retirement tour, John Cena turning heel. The execution of the heel turn was good, but looking back at it, it was just the wrong place. John Cena turning heel at WrestleMania would have saved WrestleMania this year. They could have found some way to, at Elimination Chamber, Cody tells The Rock to go fuck himself, and The Rock could have tried to attack Cody, and Cena could have got involved by intervening and interfering. Let's say Cody turned around and The Rock tried to attack him. Cena sees him, and Cena says he'll go flying, sees him flying out the ring. Something like that, right? Basically get his receipt back for WrestleMania 40 when The Rock rock bottom his cool ass. He just clotheslined him over the ropes, or he give him an AA, and The Rock rolls out pissed. But guess what? With that happening, who would have thought John Cena was going to turn heel at WrestleMania if that would have happened instead? Leading up to WrestleMania could have Got a lot of good, interesting promos with Cena still pretending to be a face, etc., etc. Then Cena does the unthinkable to win the Never Seen 17. Low blows him, AA, 1, 2, 3, because of The Rock. Or just by himself. The Rock comes out after Cena turns heel. But we didn't get that. Instead, we got an Elimination Chamber where The Rock gives us the throat slashing sign that he gave to Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes at Bad Blood in 2024. And we never knew what that meant. I guess later, Elimination Chamber, that's what he meant. A signal, a death threat, basically. He said it was just Cody Rhodes in the crossfire. Roman had nothing to do with anything. We seen that happen at January 6th this year, where they just completely buried the Roman and Rock situation. Pivoted to Cody and Cena after The Rock gave the signal to Cena to turn heel. Gave us all the implications that The Rock and Cena, and for some odd reason Travis Scott, is some alliance that's going to take over. Possibly giving us the TKO group on TV, right? Never got any of those things. Cena came out damn near in the middle of the month later. It's like 2 or 3 weeks later. Cut some good promos, but very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. Definitely on Cody's behalf, because for Cody to come back after that attack, to finally confront John Cena, you made Cody look like a complete pansy. I got videos on that. But this is all summing it up now. I'm not going to go from beginning to the end. I'm just pointing out certain things that was just ridiculous to me. You made Cody like a complete pansy. You didn't do anything to give Cena real heat. This is why the fans was cheering him not even that long from there. It was like, okay, John Cena sucks. They brought that back, but fans are still saying, thank you, Cena, blah, blah, blah. So it really, in hindsight, Cena should have never actually turned heel. Because we see that the creative literally wasn't creative enough to give us 6 months of epic proportions, epic adventures. He turned face completely with no build-up, no dramatic climax to it. He just turned face on a random SmackDown before SummerSlam, which had me thinking Cena's lying, Cena's faking, right? And Cody's dumb enough again, sitting here drinking with him, sharing a beer or two with him, and Cody's about to look like an idiot at the end of this. No, he literally just turned face. So I tell you how bad his heel turn was, that they really just out of nowhere said, okay, we got to just turn him face. Because the entire heel turn, we got no explanation on what, why. Did John Cena sell his soul? Did John Cena give in to be 17? Never seen 17? What does Travis Scott have to do with anything? Are they alliance? No, he didn't mention The Rock, not barely one time, and no explanation of what's even going on. No, what he does, excuse me, what creative thought was creative was, oh, let's have him basically turn heel as if he would have turned heel maybe 10 years ago. Now, 10 years ago, before that time, Cena was getting booed out of the buildings. So it made way more sense in 2014 or 15 or 13 for Johnson, or 2012 after he lost to The Rock. That would have made way more sense at that time to say we have a dysfunctional relationship. You bullied me. That would have made way more sense at that time. But this is what creative was thinking. Let's basically have him cut a promo as if he was back in 2013. This is why none of it made sense when you look back at it. And it was nothing but a shock moment. Even the John Cena said it in his recent interview with Chris Van Vliet, because John Cena in the next Batman movie should be in it because he should be the Riddler. All he do is speak in riddles. he's not going to say anything completely bad or anything that notion. He's not going to do it. He has great media training. So he's not going to say straight up. He's going to have you you got to read between the lines with this guy. He's not going to say anything bad. And just going back to that, he turns heel with no explanation, no rhyme or reason, a little too late, because around this time, before this heel turn, Cena was getting cheered out the building. So for him to basically, his promos was based on a older time compared to the present. That's what made it lopsided. And in fact, he didn't do anything out of character. He didn't go and slap Michael Cole. He didn't bully nobody. We barely had any interactions with him, with any new guys. Barely. Which one was it? Instead, you had a Blast from the Past tour, basically. He feuded with a majority of the time. He feuded with people he already had rivalries with in his come up. And a lot of these matches were either decent, okay, pretty bad. I think him and Cody at WrestleMania was just boring as fuck. I still stand on John Cena. I thought the only thing that was smart is not completely changing John Cena. I thought that was a good twist to it, to not really change him. But looking back at it now, they should have just never did it, bro. Because Cena didn't do anything besides tell the ring announcer to call me the greatest of all time, which he still did it when he turned face. So, the real champion and shit. Okay, those were arrogant, narcissistic things, okay. But in action, he was not a heel. This was John Cena playing a bad guy instead of being the bad guy. That's exactly how his whole heel turn felt like. He's playing the bad guy instead of being the bad guy. You know how CM Punk in his prime, he was the bad guy. Edge in his prime was the bad guy. Randy in his prime was the bad guy. Triple H, etc. People that could, that can turn face. But when they were heel, you felt it. Cena did not feel like that. Very lifeless, very emotionless. The best match on this entire tour was AJ Styles. So that was a highlight. Logan Paul was a decent match too. The worst match was R-Truth because it was the shortest match. The next match, and that was just horrible to me, was Dom and John Cena at Survivor Series. All these years, I've never seen John Cena get beat up by females. Females is not even a problem. It's just what type you use. Raquel Gonzalez is a huge bitch. So her picking up Cena Powerbomb Hill, I can believe that. But you try to make me believe that Roxanne little ass can do a pop rock on John Cena. She's already like 4'9", literally. Maybe short as fuck with her little sexy ass, but baby small as shit. She's literally not big as his arm. I almost believe she could give him a pop rock. But then at the same time, y'all turn around, y'all whole identity of WWE today is trying to be a sport. So make that make sense. You present the presentation of WWE under Triple H is like, this is almost, they're trying to make this like a sport. Here's why they try to get with ESPN, and that's failing. And hence why they do the superstar walkouts like the NBA and football, all this other shit. They try to be the UFC. Triple H is Dana White. But you tell me Roxanne can somehow immobilize John Cena. Just, at the same time, I complain about it, but that's what makes wrestling fun, because you can do ridiculous things like this. But do not try to assault my intelligence by saying this is a sport. But then her little ass can beat up his big ass. Then we get Cody and John Cena. That was before this, though. I'm not going to order. Like I said, I'm just going to random. Cody and John Cena. We get that at SummerSlam. Was a much better match. Um, I have to say though, what a way to overspend the FU. It just seems like everybody can kick out of 3 to 4 fucking FUs every big match. Literally, he got to do all. Like he got to do avalanche. And still, niggas still kicking out. So what a way to protect the move, by the way. So everyone can kick out of 3 or 4 or 5 of them. Um, wins the Intercontinental Championship. That was shocking. That was pretty cool. That was another highlight. Then we get this random ass tournament. Do not sit here and tell me this tournament wasn't random as shit, bro. Random. I gotta say something about AEW in this situation. The dirty shields and the people that hate watch AEW. Y'all would have been on AEW's ass if they would have just did a random tournament for Sting in his retirement. But nobody's got a problem with this random ass tournament that meant nothing. What was the story going in for Gunther winning this tournament? What was the story of John Cena going on this random ass tournament? I mean, Gunther winning this random ass tournament. What was the point? What was the story, really? There was no story to his final match, which made this even more of a letdown to me. There was no story at the end of this. Not one. What was the story? John Cena's last match, that's not a story. It's a fact. That's not a story. Him and Gunther did not have not one interaction this entire time before this. I think his last match should have been a feud. He should have had a feud with someone. I even think he should have been WWE champion this entire time because at least this tournament, and it's hell, if you would have built up this tournament, you didn't even build it up. It just started to happen for nothing. Why? Because they was running out of things, ideas. They were going off script. No, not even script. They were just going off every week. Well, what are we going to do this week? Because we don't got monthly plans, obviously. Obviously, we don't got monthly plans. We're just going week by week. But y'all be on AEW's ass. See, they can't book. They can't tell stories. Sting had a story with the Young Bucks. So the only thing I disagree with Sting, he shouldn't have left winning. But at the same time, I can let that slide because now look, a lot of people feel like John Cena should have won his last match. Me personally, I didn't mind Gunther winning. It's how he won. Why would Cena tap out instead of passing out? I don't think that many people would have been mad if Cena would have passed out. Give it his all, and this is it. He taps out, bro. Come on, man. That was just ridiculous. And a lot of people break it up like he tapped out John Cena, but then he taps out the fucking Jey Uso. Gunther taps out the Jey Uso, which I thought was a bad decision too. Gunther should have passed out. Passing out makes you look stronger. Why do you think his iconic picture of Stone Cold in a sharpshooter face bloody? He didn't tap out. He passed out. That's why it's an iconic moment. It's one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. That's why they got in the Hall of Fame. That moment made Stone Cold. So, like, Brett was already a star at that time. So just imagine Stone Cold tapping out. It wouldn't have made Stone Cold look that strong. Cena taps out? Good, decent match, bad ending. I'm not mad at his Gunther. Gunther made the most sense. He really didn't need a tournament. You could have spent those months, or that I think it was a month or two. You could have spent that time Gunther feuding with John Cena instead of it just happening. This tournament had no build up to it. It just happened. Oh, you had a few people from the blast from the past. No interactions with half of these people. This was just disappointing. Overall, John Cena's last run was very underwhelming and disappointing. Whether John Cena was the reason, Triple H was the reason, both of them was the reason. If John Cena has anything to do with this is why you don't let the inmates run the asylum. And it's, so this still falls all on Triple H's back. This all falls on him. Because you said, okay, y'all get on Tony Khan for, oh, he gave Mercedes with that creative freedom, creative control. Okay, if that's the case with John Cena, y'all should be mad at Triple H too. At the end of the day, you're the one still saying, okay, we can do that. Whatever you want to do. You're the one okaying it on your programming. So it still falls on the WWE. At the end of the day, thank you, John Cena, for the great childhood. I was on Team Cena Sucks for many years. But little did I know I was a fan. John Cena was a huge reason why I was tuning in weekly. He felt like exactly what John Bradshaw Layfield said he is, Big Master John. He felt like the guy to beat to ascend to stardom. And that was just true at one point in time in his career. Beating him was like winning the world title or beating the Undertaker streak before it was broke. That's how I felt. This is why AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, and a few people like became even noticeable because they beat him. CM Punk, because they beat him. So yes, John Cena gave me a lot of great memories growing up. A lot of great memories. And we'll see if he's really retired. Wrestlers never really stay away from the limelight. But if he's retired for now, have fun in the sunset. He deserved everything he got in his career. He worked for it. He didn't get nothing handed like a lot of people would think. He was in the mid card for a while, but he was just so good, he didn't need to be in the mid card. So, I mean, it is what it is. And my overall grade of the retirement tour, I give it an even 4. There were minor little cool things, but it's below average. An average to me would at least been a 6.5, maybe even 7, maybe that would have been average. It wasn't even average. This was a huge letdown to me personally. Comment below what y'all think of his run. 1 out of 10. I think this was very underdelivered, and it's unfortunate. John Cena should have had a much more epic last run. He should have been able to put over more younger stars. Because hell, he said that was initially his plan. Also, his initial plan was to do more dates. That was just stupid on WWE's behalf. That means you mean to tell me we could have had John Cena prolong some of these feuds that needed it. Him and Cody needed more John Cena involvement, more promo, more segments, more arcs to the story. Him and Randy Orton needed it more. A lot of these felt like he did a promo, he left 2 or 3 weeks at a time, leaving the other guy to do everything. Then everything else just felt rushed and no reason, no rhyme or reason, just happening. Bad shit. He was willing to do more dates. He was willing to put over younger talent. Obviously, I didn't listen to him. So Triple H tried to make it seem like this is all John Cena's writing. You know, he's writing his own last story. Bullshit. You just try to get out of the fire. That's why they let your ass have it at Saturday Night Live. Because it's only so much bullshit we can take after a while, bro. Everybody has a breaking point. And that was it. That was it. This tour was horrible. Did I mention he got washed by Brock, which I didn't mind. I really didn't mind it. I really ain't got no problem with that. But that was another one that had no explanation, no story. Just happening. Just happening. Even AJ Styles was the best match. But it just happened. There was no reason, no rhyme, nothing. It just happened. There was barely any stories in his entire run. And the stories we did get were very underwhelming, underdelivered. So at the end of the day, this all falls on the WWE. Horrible creative. I wonder what Randy Orton's retirement tour could look like. if they give him one. But yeah, it is what it is. Like, share, subscribe, dislike, comment below, all the good shit. We are out.